right. Again, this is understanding Christianity. And remember, I try to bring everything to the simple. All right. Now, the last time I talked about overcoming lie, and I told you I'll be coming often to help you in that struggle you're having with various temptations that you keep falling into, how to help you overcome. Okay? And now a question came up, and the question said, how do you deal with sexual immorality? How do you deal with sexual immorality? Well, when it comes to sexual immorality, it's like asking, how do you deal with sickness? I can give you the general answer. Take your medication, eat well, rest well. That will, to an extent, help. But if you are having or suffering from diabetes, for example, you will notice I haven't really helped you much because I didn't tell you the medication you need or the specific food you should be eating or how much a good rest means. So in the same way, sexual immorality is like a tree with so many branches, okay? It's like a tree with so many branches. Back in the days, sexual immorality was limited to probably just having sex without outside marriage, having sex when you are not to who you are not married to, okay? Sexual immorality. But these days, just like the tree, it keeps growing and many branches keep coming out of it. And today we have homosexual, and today we have pornography, we have masturbation, we have a whole lot of sexual acts. Okay? So now it depends on the one you are suffering from. It depends on the one you are suffering from. But now, let me take, for example, these two, pornography and masturbation, because this is very common among our youth, especially our Christian youth. Yes, especially our Christian youth, because it's actually the Christian youth that actually asked this question. So I understand because I am a youth also, so I know exactly what you guys go through. So, and this happened as a result of you trying not to have sex before marriage, and because you are not financially strong enough to get married, so when the hunger comes, because sex is like hunger, you can't pray it away, you can't rebuke it, you either satisfy it or you manage it. It's like hunger. So now, the question, how do you deal with this kind of act? I take, for example, like I said before, masturbation and pornography. How do you deal with it? First of all, every sin has a stronghold. Every sin has a stronghold. What I mean by stronghold is they have a base. They have where they draw their strength from. Every sin feeds on something, feed on a habit. So you have to identify that stronghold. You have to identify what they are feeding on to grow stronger, that you can no longer resist it. Feed it and cut it off. Cut off their link, cut off the source of the strength of that sin, and you find yourself becoming strong enough to overcome. Now, if you are suffering from masturbation, pornography, you have to limit. Remember, I try to bring it to the simple, not quoting too many scripture or reading too many scripture. I try to bring it to the simple. So, but I will quote one scripture from this place to make you understand what I'm trying to say. In 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 20, verse 21. He said, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. And then in verse 22, he says something here. He said, abstain from all appearances of evil. First, he said, prove all things, hold fast the good ones. And then he said, abstain from all appearances of evil. Now, it did not say flee or abstain from evil. No, it did not say abstain from evil. It said abstain from all appearances of evil. Some things are not sin, but it breaks the ground and it makes it very easy for you to commit sin. All right? For example, the movies you watch. You are watching a very good action movie. They are fighting, killing themselves. There is no reason for anyone to be having sex in such a movie, but then in the very next scene, you see a guy and a girl making love, having sex, and you wonder, there is no reason for this. And that triggers something on your inside. All right? So now these are appearance. That movie is not a sin, but it's an appearance of evil. Now you begin to think about it, begin to ponder about it, and because you are not married, you have no one, what do? You want to see more, so you go into pornography. And because you want to do more, you go into masturbation. So you see, this is why I said, cut off the source of their strength, where they feed from. Cut it off. All right? So you listen to music. Some music, all they pass across to you is sexual provoking words. Even the music video, you see people in pool, they are having sex, or they are dressed naked and they are just doing their thing, and the words that they are speaking into your ear just keep reminding you of relationship, just keep making you feel like you are left behind, making you feel like you need somebody, you need to have sex right now. So you see, these are some of the stronghold and some of the appearances of evil you need to cut off. Now you see the reason why, as Christians or as pastors, we advise people, don't listen to this and this kind of music. Don't watch so and so kind of movies. We try to limit all these things, try to push them aside, not because they are sin, but we know where those things are, where it affects us on our inside, on our mind. All right? It breaks ground for those sins to have strength. It makes it easy for us. Some of you, before you gave your life to Christ, there were a lot of things you did, a lot of movies you watched, a lot of books you read. Now that you are a Christian, what is happening? Whenever Satan wants to tempt you, it brings back those pictures. Begin to replay them in your mind. All right? Imagine you didn't have them in your mind. There will be nothing for them to tempt you with. Imagine you didn't see. There will be nothing for you to be tempted with. If David had not saw the wife of Uriah bathing in the bedroom, what happened? He would not have thought of having sex with her. So do you see how these little things that we see, those little music that we listen to, how it affects us? So when we say, put aside this music, it's not because we think it's a sin. It's because we know exactly how it affects you on your inside, on your mind, and how it breaks ground for sin to come in. Because if you break the edge, the serpent will bite. So he said, hold fast that which is good. So look for things that help you grow. Do you notice something, that whenever you are in the church, there is this mindset that is built on your inside? Or whenever you are listening to a gospel music or watching a gospel movie, there's a mindset it builds on your inside. Listening to messages, the same thing. There's a mindset it builds on your inside. You feel like you and God are in good relationship. You feel like you are in heaven right now. You feel like you are a Superman. No sin can come anymore. You feel like you just want to love God. You see all these things. Yeah? It was created by the atmosphere. It was created by the atmosphere. So when you leave that place, try to recreate that atmosphere around you. And you see yourself continuously dwelling in the presence of God, continuously living a life outside sin. All right? But when you now leave that place and then you expose yourself again to a negative atmosphere that provoke the sexuality on your inside, because whether you like it or not, we all have it on our inside. All right? We are human beings. So we try as much as possible to push those things away, to keep our head clear. Okay? So that is what you do. Identify those things that feed on those, what those sins feed on. Identify them, cut them off. So you know exactly the sin you are committing, you know exactly the area you are weak, and you know what usually provoke those areas to come up, what usually arouse you or make you feel like you need this. So identify them, cut them off. Cut them off. This is what you need. Job says something. He said, I have made covenant with my eyes not to see evil. Try to be in a place where does not remind you of sex. Try to spend time with people that speak more of something different from sex. So just avoid the atmosphere, sexual atmosphere. Any atmosphere that provoke the sexuality in you, try to avoid it. Try to avoid things you see that provoke you to have sex. All right? So a lady walk past, she's not well dressed, it's not your business. Take your eyes off her. That is what Job said. I have made covenant with my eyes not to see evil. It's not your business how she dresses. So just take your eyes off her. Instead of trying to focus, because the more you look, the more it is captured in your mind. And she may have left hours later, you are still thinking about it. But when you took your eyes off, immediately your brain has not been able to capture it. So it's easy to let go. But by the time you keep looking, keep admiring, your brain is capturing it more and more. At this time, it becomes very difficult to let go. All right? Avoid those movies. You may love the movie may be very interesting, but the sex scene in the movie is way too much. Avoid it. You may love the singer, but whenever you listen to his music, all it reminds you of is sex. Avoid that music. All right? So you may like a friend, but whenever they are around you, all you think about is sex. Avoid them. It doesn't mean they are evil. You are just protecting yourself. All right? This is how you deal with some of the sexual immorality that has to do with masturbation and pornography. So if there is any other area you would like to know about, just put it on the comment box and I will try my best to address it. But for today, this is all I can give you. God bless you. Again, I am Apostle Ernest Umagbae. Keep listening to Simple Gospel and Understanding Christianity. You are blessed.